working on this since February, but Congress is not acting until months later. So my question is, if the $28 million in emergency, the White House press secretary said that they've been tracking this issue since February. So my question is, if the $28 million in emergency funding and the changes to WIC had happened months ago, could Congress have helped prevent the catastrophic shortage that we're seeing today?
Look, can I just say this? The Biden administration has been taking action since February. And I just have three things there. You know, they provided more flexibility for the WIC program to boost accessibility. They worked with manufacturers to increase production and encourage importation of safe formula. So I think the bottom line is they have been taking actions, but we really feel that now more needs to be done, and that's why we're talking about Rose's bill, we're talking about the other bill with WIC, and then further, authorizing bills down the line, which is, what Energy and Commerce is looking at. But you just have to understand, and I'm not trying to be difficult, that this is complex. Like, one of the things that bothers me is that I found out in the last couple of days, I told you guys, that people are now ordering, I guess, through the mail, formula from Canada and other countries, and in some cases, that's been the Abbott stuff that's already been taken off the market here. And so, this is an issue where it's not just a question of supply, but safe supply. And that's part of the problem, is to make sure that this stuff that's being recalled is not being used, and that what we're going to use now is safe.
Well, USDA, I hear your question. USDA moved very quickly, as you heard Senator Stabenow speak about, in terms of they're only, and why you have the education and labor piece of legislation is to give WIC and the USDA more power. Because, in fact, Secretary Vilsack does not deal with moving the pieces around. He has provided flexibility to a beneficiary so that they can more easily get access to the product. What we're trying to do is to provide him with more authority, and he did that. Quite honestly, in the first stories that came out, speaking of, this was before I even knew of a whistleblower's report, I called for an inspector general investigation of a delay of from last October until a recall in February by the FDA. And why? Now, that's going to take a while, okay? Now, but in the meantime, the issue and the crisis is now. So how do we, in the very short order, provide them with what they need in terms of FDA to be able to bring a product back? We're going to look at other pieces about strengthening their authorities and holding people's feet to the fire. We are going to investigate Abbott, and the chips should fall where they may. People have to be accountable, whether it is at FDA or whether it is at Abbott.
But I just may say, seeing the problem is very important, but understanding it very carefully is too. Some babies need a very special kind of formula. Only one manufacturer makes that. It became contaminated. You say, when you find out about the issue, then you look into it. What is the nature of this? What is it that we have to address? That was one part of it. When Rosa, Madam Chair, referenced the babies who died, they were the ones who needed this special formula, and it has a special category, and that was contaminated. And that's sinful, but it was. And so that's one thing they'll be looking at. And then, of course, the fungibility of this, when everybody then runs to the next category, then you have the shortage. And this supply chain issue is one that is rearing its head in many ways. But when it comes to babies, it's the here and now and in this moment. I think that when all of this is done, I'm not associating my colleagues with what I'm going to say right now, I'm just saying it myself, I think there might be a need for indictment. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.